Good day, sir. What's your name?
Names, I don't deal with names. Names are not important, only ideas.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Movement.
So let's moving on to ideas then. What made you come here today and express your ideas?
Well, because the system here is failing people not only in this country, but all over the world. What they say, the 1% and 90% is very true, because they only pay us like 1% of what we produce, and they steal the other 99% for themselves. They're sitting on trillions of dollars of wealth up there, while millions of people are homeless and don't have jobs. There's a 50% poverty rate, and they're building 703 military bases in 130 countries. That's trillions of dollars of money they've stolen from our labor so that they can knock off their competitors around the world. That's why the system is failing people here. That's why these people are here, not in Washington or Albany. They're fighting for a system that produces for their needs, for the people who do all the work, and not for the profit needs of the 1%.
Well, this is a magical location. There's a lot going on here. We've got the church, who is supposed to represent God. We are doing the godly thing here. This is basically a minimalistic village, and minimalism is the solution to our problems, both financial collapse and climate change. This village has the lowest carbon footprint in the country. They don't realise what they've done, but this is a forerunner of the solution. This is a minimalistic lifestyle, and that is the solution. At present, we have a system which is driven by money and materialism, which is wrecking this planet. We've got to revert. We've got to change from materialism to minimalism with fun. That's the solution.
What should be illegal banking in Switzerland, I would like to see ended, and all the banks who allow all kinds of criminals, drug dealers, anyone to deposit money anonymously in numbered accounts. I would like the flow of money between Switzerland, the illegal bank accounts, and legitimate nation states to be ended completely. I'd like to see all money kept in offshore accounts and in these illegal accounts in Switzerland repatriated into proper legitimate nation states, so we can see who these people are, who owns what, how much they own, and then we can tax them.
You know, the power is vested in the people, and the government are just a proxy of the people. We're asking why they are not doing that job and why they are supporting other people right now. So yeah, they're not accountable, aren't they? They're not making accountable the people that are causing all the problems. And my personal reason to be here is to support the protests on behalf of not just the poorest classes, but for the middle class too, who I've spoken to many of that have passed the tent, who've worked hard, they've not committed any crimes, they've paid all their taxes, they've brought up children, and still, even they are being swept into poverty too now, or the danger is that they are going to become poor. And they are asking now why that's happening to them too. So the waves are lapping at their door now as well. So I'm here to support them in the protest, because we have an economic ideas about what's going on. But we give them that knowledge so that they can make their minds up about what's really going on, and so that they can demand an answer when they vote.
Realising interdependence. Firstly, to have some kind of open dialogue where people can discuss what they believe is wrong with the system at the moment, and then in the future to open that into ways that people believe that they can change things and things that different people can do to create a system that reflects them in a more ethical and true way. I think it's achieving the first part of it, yeah. I think discussion has to happen before we can get to the second part, where we're really talking about realistic changes that can be put in place.
In the 1930s, when we didn't have things like a weekend, we didn't have Social Security, didn't have unemployment insurance, didn't have the right to have a union, people like us occupied the factories, the powerhouses. They shut down the city, they fought in the streets, they were shut down, and that's why they won all the benefits that we enjoy today. But many people don't realize that because they didn't go through that. But now the guys who stole it all are trying to take it all back again. So many times, like during the Vietnam War, workers have fought back. During the Civil Rights struggle, workers have fought back. During the 60s, the city was shut down by the transit workers because they tried to do a wage freeze around the whole country, saying they needed for the Vietnam War. But the workers didn't buy that. They said, the hell with your wars. We need to live. We need to try to achieve a different kind of system that is not based on exploitation of people, that where people, when they work, their labor is used to enrich all those people you see on television, skin and bones, starving to death. Why? Because their land is being privatized by a capitalist system that's only interested in profit, not in that these people have a life, that they have food, that they have a home.
I'm a fighter for justice. 223 years ago, when American Constitution was signed, that people who signed, who create American Constitution, didn't have internet, didn't have TV, didn't have satellite, didn't have train, didn't have anything, but did a very powerful and very unique American Constitution, who gave rights for poor and rich. But when you arrive in court, if you are poor, you do not have any success. You are guilty.
All right, well, the thing I'm against is the people dying every day in war. I'm against war. That's what I protest against. Protesters ended the Vietnam War in 1974. We could end it again today. There's been over 7,000 Americans' lives given for this war. There's been over 950,000 people that's been killed, innocent people that's been killed since this war. Okay, $5.9 trillion has been spent since this war or more. And there's being $3 billion a week spent right now of our tax money for this war that we don't know what's really going on. Well, I hope this whole protest achieves everybody's cause. I hope that the banks, get what they deserve. And I hope that we get jobs out of this, okay? And the main reason, most importantly, I hope they end the war. All war. Not just troops from Iraq, but also from Afghanistan. I believe they're building more base out in Afghanistan every day. But they don't plan on leaving Afghanistan because there's oil, drugs, and weapons in Afghanistan, the most of.
I came in the second week of the occupation. I've been coming down here on a daily basis every day for 42 days in a row. I've been knitting hats, scarves, and mittens, and a couple of other garments for the occupants of the park to help them keep warm because it's really starting to get cold. Today it's a nice day, but we've had some very cold days and cold nights. I'd really like to see them end the wars. I'd like to see a fair taxation system where it's more fair than it is right now. I'd also like to see them abolish the death penalty. But we really got to get the economy back on track because I have 5 grandchildren, and they're the main reason I'm here because things got to get better in America, or I don't see a very good future for them, because even if they were able to afford to go to college, which is getting more and more expensive every year, then they're going to end up in terrible debt from student loans. I know people who are still paying off their college debt into their 40s because the job market is so hard to get a really good job that'll pay enough to make a living and pay off the debt at the same time. And so many jobs have disappeared to other countries that there isn't a lot of job prospects for them, even after they get a good education. So there's a lot of things I'd like to see change.
Basically, where you can look, if you realize the history of this country is all one: depression, war, depression, war. We got to end that vicious cycle. We got get a system that works for people's needs and not for profits and not for wars.
Well, I think it is global. I think people talk about the bankers in America, but the bankers that happen to live in America have global interests. So everyone around the world is affected by these economic times. And every once in a while, you get a shift of society, and this is a time of change. It happens every few hundred years, maybe every 50 years or so, but it's definitely, we're overdue for a change of that sort. So it's at this point, I see it as completely unstoppable. There's no way of stopping this now. It's going to keep going until the people are happy. Because in America, the people have the power. We have the power in our votes. And if we don't like the way the government is running things, we can vote them out and get new people in. And I think that's going to be the important thing for people to vote and become a very informed voter and vote to change things.
Plane 357, take me home. Train number 11, 'cause heaven's gone. Bus line all night, get me there in time. Driving down on the wall, what's done is done. Missed this sunrise along a forgotten coast. Lighthouse in the sunshine, and the wind will blow. Give me shelter, I will take my stand. Lost here in the guidance of a blind man. Set in the dark, in the deep. I don't know where my body went to sleep. No longer person, I'm finally free. Separated from my sins, I am just energy, yeah. 357, take me home. Train number 11. Now